Shalom, everyone. My name is Zachariah Yahada. Coming back with another lesson, prophesying the downfall of Babylon, a.k.a. America, home where all the gross abomination occurred.
Verse 6, though his excellency mounts up to the heavens.
I was just listening to the brother Zadok Armour, and he's doing a camp-style lesson on the highways and byways, so I was just listening to his video, and I said, well, let me go and get started. He's about to finish, and what I'll do is I'll send the video to you all. Matter of fact, I'm going to do it right now, so you all can watch this video. Let me see here. Hold on here. Okay, yeah. I don't know why it's taking so long for my video to upload. And another thing, I've been having this problem for a long time. You know, let me see here. Let me go to here. I'm gonna be laying back in our Elder Yashawama video. He did a video earlier, and I was watching. And we're gonna land back. I'm gonna work with him today on this lesson, and we're gonna go into this thing. Let me see here. I'm trying to find Amron, and then I'll send that lesson out. Then we get started with the lesson, and then we're gonna watch some. I don't know if he sent it to me yet. Danny Hyphon. You know, we're gonna piggyback off some of his video and who he's interviewing or whatnot. So I'm sending this video to you all now. So y'all getting it right now. And here goes his channel right here. Subscribe to the brother channel.
And also to those who lack.
Okay.
Scattered abroad. I like to save some wall.
All right. So just got done watching it. So Shalom, brother. So they getting it now. And fair use under the copyright statute, so I won't get no copyright violation. So, and I'm not monetized. So yeah, you know, right now we living in some beautiful, exciting, and dangerous time. You know, where the Lord is bringing judgment on the earth, and a lot of people don't realize what's going on. I was outside yesterday doing a highway camp style lesson, and where these little young Muslim approached me and kind of like mockery because I didn't want to listen to what they were talking about in the Quran. I said, man, why would I listen to the book of the dead when I'm into the light? That don't make no sense. So I told him, no, I'm not hearing that, bro. You know, I'm not hearing that because, you know, I studied Islam years ago before I came into the truth. And that's not how I read. And then a lot of people say, man, why couldn't you, why you stop, why you come up out of Islam? I said, because that's not how I read, man. I'm an Israelite, you know? And see, a spiritual person won't understand. Okay? So that means the Lord is not working with them. The Lord is not in there with them, you know? Because if the Lord was with them, they will understand. All right? So let's go into this thing. I'm going to start here in 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, and I'm going to read from 2nd Ezra chapter 15 verses 1. I'm reading out my all right. It says, speak in the ears of my people the words of prophecy that I will put in your mouth, said the Lord, and cause them to be written on paper, for they are trustworthy and true. All right. So these prophecies is trustworthy and true. It said, do not fear the plots against you, and do not be troubled by the unbelief of those who oppose you. Because we're going to have people plotting and oppose us. You know, like I said yesterday, I was out on the highways and the byways doing a camp style lesson, and the dude come up to my spot, and then because I didn't want to hear what they had to say, I'm not here to hear what you got to say. I'm here to prophesy and to give you thus says the Lord. I don't care if you get into your spirit. So these dudes got into their spirit, got to citing the Fatiha to me, Bismillah Rahim. You know, I said, man, listen, that's not me. And I said, listen, another thing is you marking yourself, and so the Lord gonna put and once they do that, see, a lot of people don't realize once you come up against the Lord's prophet, man, the Lord, if he plague you, he'll put a mark on you. And from that point on, you're gonna be destroyed. And see, that's why I said, and the dude looked like he was a Jake, all right, that them converted to Islam. You know, or he could have been a Somalian, I don't know. But anyway, make a long story short, they want to argue and fight. Then I had the apparently look like Edomite come up, and the dude, he coming out in Christian churches and shit. So he got to talking about Exodus. I mean about Eve. I said, listen, man, I want to go off the point. My job is to bring forth the message. I said, I'm not going all the way out there. I said, I gave my number. I said, call me and we'll talk about it. And I'll go into my notes and break it down for you. So when I get home, this dude here done deleted my number out of his phone, so that showed me that he was one of them, he's an Edomite, all right? He's not one of the speckled birds. Because how you going to tell the speckled bird, they spirit going to bear witness with my spirit that what we saying is the truth, all right? And then they going to cite the Lord's real name, not no Jesus Christ, all right? That's how you tell. Okay, it says, let me see, what was I stopped at? It said, do not fear the plots against you, and do not be troubled by the unbelief of those who oppose you. For all the unbelievers shall die in their unbelief. And this is where we at right now. All right. Verse 5, it said, beware, said the Lord. I am bringing evil upon the world. The sword, famine, death, and destruction. Why, Lord? Verse 6, because iniquity has spread throughout every land, and their harmful doings have reached their limits. Verse 7, therefore, said the Lord, I will be silent no longer concerning their ungodly acts that they impiously commit, neither will I tolerate their wicked practices. The innocent and righteous blood cries out to me, and the souls of the righteous cry out continually. Verse 9, it said, I will surely avenge them, said the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and will receive to myself all the innocent blood from among them. Okay, it said, see, my people are being led as the flock to the slaughter. It said, I will not allow them to live any longer in the land of Egypt. Verse 11, but I will bring them out with a mighty hand and with the uplift arm, and will strike Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all its land. All right. Verse 12, it said, let Egypt mourn and its foundation because of the plague of chastisement and castigation that the Lord will bring upon it. Verse 13, let the farmers that till the ground mourn, because their seed shall fail to grow, and the trees shall be ruined by the blight of hail and by the terrible tempest. All right. Verse 14, it said, alas, for the world and for it said for the world and those who live in it. Okay, I'm over speaking because I'm thinking about I'm used to reading the KJV, So if I speak, that's the reason why. Okay, verse 14 it said, "Last for the world and for those who live in it." Verse 15 it said, "For the sword and misery draw near them, and the nation shall rise up to fight against nation." And that's what we're seeing right now. It said with the sword, the modern day sword is a handgun, all right, or actual sword, or anything that can do bodily harm. All right. It said with the sword. It said with swords in their hands. All right. Let me go back and read it again. It said for the sword for the sword and misery draw near them, and nation shall rise up and fight against nation with swords in their hand. Verse 16, it said, for there shall be unrest among people growing strong against one another, and they shall, it said, they shall in their might have no respect for their king or the chief of their leaders. So, so these people, they ain't on regard the president or his men, all right, or the Congress, the leaders, all right. Right now, you can see that sentiment growing strong for for what they doing over there in Iraq. Okay, it said let me see where I stopped at. Verse 17. Second end of chapter 15, verse 14, it said, at last, for the world and for those who live in it, for the sword and misery draw near them, and nation shall rise up and fight against nation with swords in their hands. Okay. It's the modern, like I said, the modern day sword is a handgun or anything that do bodily harm, or that can take your life. Verse 16, it said, for there shall be unrest among people growing strong against one another, and they shall in their might have no respect for the king or the chief or their leaders. See, and are we not seeing this right now? It said, for a person will desire to go into a city and shall not be able to do so. So you're gonna have checkpoints. So when they create this Black Swan event, this order out of chaos, then you're gonna have they're gonna have everything on lockdown. And they're gonna have checkpoints everywhere, On every block you're gonna have like the what they call them, the UN forces, the forces that America didn't let in already. They're gonna take over, the country. I can't think of the name of that law that they call it. When the state go into emergency, they call it damn, I can't think of the name of it. But y'all get the gist of what I'm saying. Okay, it says verse 17. It said, "For a person will desire to go into a city and shall not be able to do so because of their pride. And the city, it said, pride, the city shall be in confusion, and houses shall be destroyed, and the people shall be afraid." Verse 19, people shall have no pity for their neighbors, but shall make an assault upon their houses with the sword, and plunder their goods because of the hunger, and for bread and cause of great tribulation. And hey, this is where we at right now. Verse 20, it said, "See how I am calling together all the kings of the earth to turn to me," says Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, "from the rising of the sun and from the south, from the east, and from Lebanon, okay, to turn and repay what they have given them." Who is them? Who is the them? It's talking about the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. So let's go into this thing before we start. Well, I can read them as we go. All right. Before we let me do the copyright statute, so I won't get no copyright violation. Hold on. All right. All right, hold on here. Let me see here where we at here. Fair use under the copyright statute of 1976. So it said fair use is a legal doctrine codified in Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Which allows limited, unauthorized use of the copyright material for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Or research. This provision acts as a defense against infringement claims, balancing creator rights with public interest. And it was added to the 1976 Act based on a low history of previous judicial decision, not as a new concept. All right. So the four-factor test. Okay, the key components of the fair use under 1976 Act codification. Section 107 formally recognized fair use, allowing the educational and non-profit use to tip the balance in favor of fair use. The four-factor test, courts evaluate fair use by balancing these factors: purpose and character of use, whether it is non-profit, educational versus commercial, and if it is transformative. It said the nature of the work, whether it is fictional or factual, the amount and substantiality, how much of the original works was used. It said market effects, impact on value or potential markets of the original work. So transformative use. Courts favor use that add new expression, meaning the message rather than mere reproduction. So educational and classroom guideline, 1976 Act through legislative history, House Report 94 1476, intended to allow teachers to make multiple copies for classroom use, provided they adhere to certain guidelines. So like I said, I'm not monetized. I'm not profiting from this. Okay. So fair use, fair use, fair use. All right, let's get it. As we go, I'm gonna bring out a little bit, but I'm gonna let the elder apostle out of GMS, out of Dallas, Elder Yashawamba, get it in, and we're gonna go to Fab. I'm gonna do a little of her work, so I'm gonna be all over the place. So y'all bear with me here. So let's start here. This is a video I was watching earlier. Ah man, hold on, y'all. All right, there we go.
Shalom. Giving all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachachakorash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations, as always, to the elect. News and prophecy, linking the things that we see happening throughout the four corners of the earth, especially here in Babylon the Great. We link these things to biblical prophecy to give the elect of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, the faithful, the remnant, understanding that all of these things are the will of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, and to not be moved, not to fret, and to ultimately only trust in the promises that were made to our fathers, that ultimately a remnant will be raised up and protected through all of these happenings, through their faith. All right, what we are witnessing worldwide is a controlled demolition of the economies. All right, and as it says in the book of Habakkuk, the second chapter, the just are going to have to live by faith because these plagues aren't going anywhere. And they were foretold, right? Just like our forefathers were in ancient Egypt. The Lord sent mass plagues upon that place before he exodus them out of that Egypt. And the same thing applies here, as this is now a spiritual Egypt. Okay? And, pretty much the main plague, of course, is sent by the Most High. But it's ultimately through your very own elites, all right, who are, very vicious, foul, insane, power hungry, and they don't care about human life. And pretty much to get everything in their control, we witnessed, the hoarding of resources by them especially over the past 5 years. We've seen the controlled demolition of food plants. We've seen disruption in markets, the plague of COVID, pretty much, through that, many businesses were shut down and things are only getting worse. from that point. All right. And now, what's flooding the headlines is the war in Iran. Is Netanyahu alive? All right. Behind closed doors, these devils are moving forward with their technocracy. Okay. And disrupting the economies on purpose because the elites need disruption and collapse. All right. So that the focus is taken off of them and more on a solution, which their solution is going to be peace and safety through entering into their system, bowing to their image and taking their mark. Okay? And as you can see on the screen here, more plagues, as the scripture said in the book of 2nd Esdras, the 15th chapter, in the 11th verse, because the Lord's determination, all right, is to get us out of this spiritual Egypt.
Get it.
Okay? Verse 10, and this is end time prophecy, but it's talking about here, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. So all of this is happening, including the war in the so-called Middle East, which is really Western Asia, right? Which those are just skirmishes, but these things are leading, the moves being made are leading to disruption, okay, shortages, plagues, hail, oil shortages, all right, and it's eventually going to end in all-out war. See, but these things are all happening because the Lord's determination is to deliver us out of this new spiritual Egypt, okay? I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, Yahweh Shai, and smite Egypt with plagues as before,
Yep.
and will destroy all the land thereof. So the Lord's determination is to not only plague Egypt, but eventually destroy the whole land. As the scriptures say in the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter, right? Let's get that. Joel, the 3rd chapter. In the 19th verse, right? Which this talks about the nations being judged, World War III, the Lord, paying the heathen back for what they've done to his people, all right? The end result is what? Joel 3:9. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness. Okay? And prophetically, we know the only kingdom that is promised to be utterly destroyed in the like fashion of Sodom and Gomorrah is Babylon the Great. All right? But here it gives you the code word of Egypt and Edom, which Edom is also prophesied to become a desolate wilderness because Esau, Edom rules Babylon the Great. This new modern day Egypt. He is the modern day Pharaoh.
Yep.
Okay? Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness for the violence against the children of Judah.
Yep.
All right, is that racist? Because they have shed innocent blood in their land. Okay, so going back to where we were in 2nd Esdras 15 and 11, I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and will smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that God shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, and farmers, under Trump's policies of mourning, natural disasters are causing them to mourn. Their crops are failing. They kicked out, the workers that, they needed. These are, what they call illegal immigrants who were over here tilling their ground. They kicked them out. Now, all right, the Trump administration is acknowledging that it needs immigrant farm workers as it moves to cut their pay. So you kick them out, mock them. Now you're crying, all right, for them that you have a labor shortage. And this is causing farmers to mourn. Okay. And we've seen over the past years, farmers are in straits, having to either give their farms up. Some of them are committing suicide. They're crying. They're coming together, complaining. A lot of them thought Trump was going to, bring some form of aid and help, but only more help because the elites don't want farmers anymore. Natural foods are pretty much a thing of the past. Moving into this new world, they won't need you. So all of these things are being done on purpose.
Yep.
Okay? They that till the ground, the farmers shall mourn. Their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail and with fearful consolation. This is happening worldwide. An example, all right, citrus grow. This is in Turkey, right? Citrus growers brace for heavy loss after frost, drought, and heat wave. All right, and all we have to do is just look up how natural disasters are destroying, farming. Right, natural disasters, what they call global warming. All right, destroying farming crops. Just look it up. Okay, natural disasters are devastating agricultural production with drought, floods, and storms, causing tens of billions of losses annually. And see, these things are eventually going to affect your everyday life. We see it in the news, we see it, we've seen all of this, madness take place over these years. And, the people thought, okay, that's just that, that's just, no, but eventually these things are going to affect your everyday life.
Okay, let's go here. Hold on here. Okay, so the spirit is revealing to me the closing of a divinely appointed epoch. Okay, it said this is not the end of the planet, but the end of an age. Olam Hazah. All right. It said, I think that's the Greek form. I mean the Hebrew. It said truth is being hidden, and deception grows unchecked among mankind. False systems of governance and commerce